Hi. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode. Ooh, music. Hey, everybody. What's going on? It's your boy, Kris Avalon, and welcome to another episode of Wednesday Night Kiki, where we talk about all the latest entertainment news and hot topics that's going on in the industry as we speak. So, we got some Grammy tea that we're going to break down. It's probably going to be a long video, a long episode. EJ is going to come in and break it on down because we both talk pop culture and we're all into the whole music situation, all that good stuff. But before we do, what I want to do is I want to break it on down and talk about some movie news that just popped up before we get to all the main topics, which we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about J-Lo's performance at the AMAs, how people are saying she pretty much copied Beyonce. We also got some news on Bow Wow, Barack Obama, and a whole lot more. Paris Hilton. There's a whole lot of stuff going on. Yeah, this is definitely our finale of our 12-week sneak peek. We're going to come back in 2021, January. Bigger, better, faster, stronger, all that good stuff. We're going to have a panel of different people coming in with different opinions and giving their view on what's going on in entertainment. I want to bring in queer voices. So if you're one of those, definitely let me know. Hit me up on the line, message me, and all that good stuff. So for those of you watching on YouTube, Twitter, wherever we are right now, Periscope, we're live everywhere. Just let me know. But anyway, so let's get right into it. So a story came out about Black Panther 2. Now, so they're gonna start shooting in Atlanta next July, and the shoot's gonna last for about 6 months. This is according to the Hollywood Reporter, by the way. So far, they said Mexican actor Tina Cuerda, who was one of the stars of Netflix's Narcos Mexico, is in talks to play one of the antagonists. This is according to sources from THR. Letitia Wright, Lupita Nyong'o, Winston Duke, and Angela Bassett are coming back, with some saying that Wright's character Shuri may take on a more prominent role. Now, if y'all remember in the comic, I believe at some point Shuri does become sort of a Black Panther of sorts. Now Marvel's not speaking out about the story, but they're trying to figure out ways to proceed without Boseman, and it is they did say recently that they are not going to use CGI to include him into the film, which in my opinion I don't like. I didn't like it when they did it with Paul Walker, but he was already in the film. They had to figure out how to conclude and wrap up what was already there. But with Black Panther, in my opinion, I know a lot of people are not going to like this, but I have no problem with them bringing in someone to be the new Black Panther. Some of y'all try to act like that because someone plays a specific role that no one else can play that role. Like y'all only think the only Blade can be Wesley Snipes, that the only Wolverine can be Hugh Jackman because you love that character in that film so much. No one else can play them. But last time I checked, they're called actors. And in Hollywood, the show must go on. Black Panther is a $1 billion franchise. And you think they're going to stop making money off of this franchise and continue something that was so successful going because yes, it's sad that we lost Chadwick Boseman. I'm upset. We're not going to see him in the sequel. But to conclude with this franchise, they're not going to just stop making these movies because they lost the character. It's the same thing with Star Wars. They're not going to stop making Star Wars movies because we lost Carrie Fisher. They're not going to stop, because we lose certain people. This is the circle of life and shit happens. I don't mean to sound so blunt about it, but it's just, this is the nature of the thing. We lose people, you bring people in, it's just that. Just like I just heard about Alex Trebek. He passed. They're going to have Ken Jennings, so I kind of knew they was going to do that anyway. And they said a revolving, and I said this weeks ago on Wednesday Night Kiki, bring in a revolving door of guest hosts to host the show and let the people decide, oh, I actually like what this person brings to the show, or whatever the case is. I feel like people can do that with Black Panther. Give people a chance to move on and mourn him. And then when we start shooting next summer, then we can go in and talk about you know, who they're going to bring. I think they already decided who they want to bring in for Black Panther anyway. I think they've already decided who is going to be the replacement. I wouldn't even be upset if they brought in Michael B. Jordan. I know people are like, well, he played Killmonger, he died. You don't know. Do you know how Marvel is? You could bring like some alternate universe and he's a Black Panther in another dimension, something like that. I don't know. They could figure out something to bring him in. First of all, he's very good friends with Ryan Coogler, who he's been in a couple of movies with him. People like Michael B. Jordan. I think he's not only a good actor, but he's a movie star. So he's got the complete package. And if they decide to bring in Killmonger, like resurrect him or something or another, and make him the new Black Panther, they figure out a way to work it on out, I'd be down for that. But if they brought in somebody new, I just hope that with whoever they bring in to play Black Panther, that he doesn't try to embody and copy what Chadwick Boseman did. Be your own person, be your own, you know, bring whatever you can to that character, because people are going to look at it as like, oh, you know, people are already going to have their preconceived notions when they go in and they watch this movie anyway. So when you bring somebody in that's new, people have their ways. So just go in, do you, and then keep it moving. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this film. I'm sure they're going to do the film justice. I'm also looking forward to seeing when they do She-Hulk, even though Tatiana Maslany denied that she's going to be in it. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing Oscar Isaac in Moon Knight, even though they said he's a little too old to play the character, but whatever. I'm just waiting to see what it is. And when they release it, I'll be there for it. Another story that just came out is that Lady Gaga has nabbed a new role. So she's found something that's going to follow up her role in A Star Is Born, which she was actually pretty good in. And I'm glad that she's doing something that's outside of mute, like, because, you know, whenever you see certain musicians being actors, they like to jump in and just do singer-based stuff. But she's actually about to join Brad Pitt in a new action movie called Bullet Train, which is going to be directed by David Leitch. Now, if you don't know who David Leitch is, David Leitch co-directed the first John Wick movie. He also directed Atomic Blonde, and, you know, I know a lot of people have their reservations about that movie. One of my favorite scenes, and I think anybody who's seen that movie, the most mind-blowing scene that y'all can speak about with that movie, and yes, it did have its problems. I did feel like it was uneven in parts, but I did love the color palette. I love the music soundtrack. I loved. And I love the action sequences, and I love Charlize Theron. Like, Charlize Theron could just do no wrong in my eyes. I love anything that she's in. So my favorite scene from that, of course, without saying, would be that long 12-minute stairwell fight sequence that goes on into, you know, like a hallway and then in a room, and this is ongoing. And I just love that scene. That's like the best part of that movie. Would you kind of see something similar to that in the movie that came out? Oh my God, Extraction with Chris Hemsworth. There's a similar scene with that, because the guy who did that scene, that shot it and was like worked on the choreography and stuff, he actually directed the Extraction film. So there was similarities to that. But so yeah, so he's also directed Hobbs and Shaw. Had my trepidation about that movie too, but I overall enjoyed it. And so he's been around, he's directed a lot more, and he did Deadpool too. Now Deadpool, I've talked to good friends of mine about that movie. I like Ryan Reynolds. I like Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds kind of annoyed me as Deadpool. I just think like y'all just was throwing jokes to the wall and seeing what stuck. And they're funny at first, but when you watch the movie over and over, it gets a little stale after a while. So yes, Lady Gaga and Brad Pitt are about to star in this movie, and it's called Bullet Train. And what the plot is, says the film boasts an impressive ensemble. This is according to Collider, who broke this story. That includes Joey King's going to be in it. I like her too. Aaron Taylor Johnson, I like him too. And if y'all ever seen his penis pictures, you'll like seeing that part too. They're all over the internet. Google it. Zazie Beetz, who was in Deadpool 2, which we were just talking about. Brian Tyree Henry, who is going to be in the new Eternals film. I believe he's playing like the gay superhero in that one. Andrew Koji Masioka, who y'all may remember from Heroes. That's where I know Masioka from. And he was on Hawaii Five-0 at a point in time. And two-time Oscar nominee Michael Shannon. I know I was watching an old episode of Law and Order SVU the other day, and I saw Michael Shannon on there. I'm like, oh my God, you're so skinny. But then it was like you start seeing people up in there, and it's like you just you're surprised when you watch old shows and old movies and stuff, and you start seeing people popping up in certain. There was another movie he was in too. He had a small part. Chain Reaction with Keanu Reeves. He had like a small part where he was in a van, and the FBI was like searching his van for something. So he had a bit part in that as well. It's funny how he's come a long way though. So Zach Okowitz, who wrote the script, which is based on Kotaro Osaka's Japanese novel Maria Beetle. They said the contained story follows a group of assassins with conflicting motives aboard a fast-moving train in Tokyo. And it says it's unclear whether Lady Gaga will play one of the assassins, as her role is being kept under wraps, but a source describes it as a small supporting role rather than a lead. Well, first of all, there's no way Lady Gaga is being a lead in a Brad Pitt movie. Let's just put that out there. Like, you're not trying to overshadow him. So I'm guessing they might do her kind of like... remember when Alicia Keys played an assassin? I forget the name of that movie. It was her and Taraji P. Henson. They were in it way back in the day. And Jeremy Piven, I think they were all trying to kill him or something in Vegas. So I can see her either playing an assassin or maybe playing the person that they're trying to kill. I don't know. I don't necessarily. I've never heard of this comic, but the Japanese novel that is based on. It does sound like a great concept. I like the idea of like assassins on a train and the closed, like this closed, tight space fight, like the way you're fighting. Like it kind of gives me that vibe of, remember, if y'all remember, I think it was Spectre. I did not like that movie, but the fight sequence with Bond and Batista, where they were in the train, like I can pretty much see that happening a lot in the movie. So I'm excited to see this movie. Lady Gaga doing some action. I could definitely see her taking that on, but I know like she has her little ailments that she talks. So if she could pull that off, and I'm sure she could play an assassin. They're saying her a small role. Maybe it should be one of the assassins that's killed off first. Who knows? They'll give her a memorable part. And last but certainly not least, let's talk about 20th Century Fox is now giving us another Predator movie that's going to be directed by 10 Cloverfield Lane director Dan Trachtenberg. Now, this is the 5th Predator that we're getting, and the script was being written by Patrick Asen, whose producer-writer credits include the series Kingdom, Jack Ryan, and Treadstone. Now, Treadstone lasted 1 season, and I did think that was a good show. Kingdom lasted about, what, three seasons? And Treadstone is still on the air. So, well, Amazon, if you want to be specific. But the funny thing I find is that while this sounds like a great idea, I like Dan Trachtenberg's work. I love 10 Cloverfield Lane. Not that last one they put out. Like, y'all could throw that shit in the furnace and burn it. I like 10 Cloverfield Lane, but after that last monstrosity that was Predator, do we need another one? Like, I love the original, which had Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. Predator 2 was okay. It had its moments, but overall, I wasn't that excited. But I just feel like people didn't know what to do with the monster, the creature. Like, the look of him, the concept, everything about the Predator, I love. But I just feel like the movies haven't truly executed him in a way that makes him exciting and make a good movie. I did like Predators with Adrian Brody and Lawrence Fishburne. I did like that concept of taking a bunch of prisoners or killers from different parts of the planet and putting them in a place for the Predator to hunt them down. I did love that concept. I thought it was a really cool concept. It didn't really do that well at the box office, but I like the concept. That last one with Shane Black, who, first of all, how are you in the original freaking Predator movie and you fuck up a Predator movie? Like, you wrote it and directed it. And then when I watched it, I'm like, this dialogue is terrible. With the juvenile dialogue, like making pussy, like, come on, like, what are you, 12? Like, it felt like a 12-year-old wrote it and you're like 40-something years old, pushing 50. Like, it just irritated me, that whole freaking movie. And then even the action stuff was just mediocre at best. So I don't know how you're in an original Predator film and then you get the opportunity to direct it. And I'm not saying that Shane Black is a bad director, because he has made some pretty good movies. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is a great film. I didn't like Iron Man 3. I will say that. He directed that as well. But he fucked up the last Predator movie. So the fact that 20th Century Fox is willing to take another chance on this franchise that has yet to give us a really good Predator movie, I'm not that excited about it, but I am curious to see, especially because when did that movie come out? 2018, the last one. So I'm in a way really excited to see what happens when we get another Predator movie. Like I'll watch it, but it's not something that I'm like 110% excited about. So yeah, that's all I pretty much got to say on our little movie rundown. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take a little short break, and I'm gonna bring in EJ, and then we're gonna drag the Grammys. We're gonna talk about J Lo and Beyonce and that whole controversy. We're gonna talk about Barack Obama, Cardi B accused of buying up her Grammy, and she's going off on people, and people going off on her. Even Azealia Banks has something to say, and even though I'm not necessarily an Azealia fan, this shade was funny. So we need to talk about that and a whole lot more. So don't go away. We'll be right back with more of Wednesday Night Geek. Yes. We're going to commercial. Hold on a second. It's a long break. Okay, so let me Well, hi everybody. Oh, wait, who's this? Um, one of the wasn't that one of the twins that got they was robbing people and one of them was in the ceiling or whatever. And he got cancer. Child. Okay, let's just focus on what's at hand. Hey everybody, welcome back to Wednesday Night Kiki. I know that was a long ass commercial, but I had to pull up some of the other topics that I had to get for the show because my notes for these Grammys is coming up is gonna be crazy. But before we do, I know there's been there's technical issues that's going on. This is like the second time that I've been doing a show that it's been going on, but nevertheless, as they say in show business, the show must go on. It's live, and we're gonna make it work. So without further ado, let me bring in EJ Parker, who's going to talk with us about what is going on in the latest news and topics. I need somebody to come on in and give like a different perspective when it comes to the following topics that we're going to talk about, which we're going to talk about the AMAs and the Grammys. But hopefully, no technical issues on that part. Oh. Are you there? Are you there? Hold on a second. Let's get stuck on two. Okay, so while I don't know what's going on, we're just going to continue on. So we are live children. And one of the stories that I wanted to get to is J-Lo, who is talking about well, the people are saying that she basically copied Beyonce's Drug and Love performance at the AMAs. But can we talk what I had gotten from oh, I hear background. What's going on? What's going on? But anyway, from what I got from it, here's the weird thing. I mean, it may be crazy. Maybe Beyonce also got inspiration from this. But when I first saw the video, I don't know which one, because Patti and Lonely, Quiet as It's Kept, I don't like neither one of those damn songs. I'll say this, J-Lo looked good. As always, she spends a lot of time on the glam and the body and the wigs and all that other stuff. She's always going to look fierce. So there's no shade on her about that. But there were some similarities, I will say, from the lighting to the hair. And I know one of my friends was like, "Oh, J-Lo, I mean that Beyonce didn't invent wet hair." Nobody's saying that, but it was just the look was just overall too similar. It was just a lot going on, and people felt like she was copying. Which I'm sure there were similarities in a lot of things, but from what I got from it, I felt like J-Lo was inspired by Chicago. There's a scene, the cell block tango, that sort of thing, from when her dance with all the girls and they were behind the bars and all this stuff. That's the influence I got from it. So, and I know like J-Lo has has always been inspired by Broadway and theater and all that other stuff. She said that in the past. So everybody takes inspiration from other people. And Quiet as It's Kept, Beyonce ain't no damn saint either when it comes to taking from people and thinking like we ain't gonna notice. Like, do I have to constantly bring up the fact that that there's one sequence that came out like eons ago. It was during Kylie Minogue's Fever tour, and when she opened up, she had on this big robotic getup that just like when you pressed on it or whatever, it would just they use a remote. Because I remember she talked about this most recently when she did a couple of interviews promoting the new album Disco, and the parts opened up and all this other stuff, and then she came out of it and then would perform. Beyonce had a similar look in one of her shows as well. So there have been situations where they have copied and that sort of thing. So yeah, I will say that she looks fierce here. Like, I love the outfit. I love the clothes. She definitely looks sexy at 51. So I'm not gonna take that away from her. I'm gonna start calling Maluma Melatonin because he bores me as a performer. Like, I really feel like he does not give me anything. Like, okay, so I believe his album 1111, I definitely liked because he kind of stepped out of that comfort zone a little bit. But the whole dirty boy, pretty boy, Rico Suave. Like, come on with the Latin cliches. I need a lot more when it comes to my Latin artists. And Maluma just relies too much on being pretty and doesn't give me enough substance with the music. He's good to look at, but that's about it. And J-Lo has a new single that's coming out this week. I did send in the picture because I want y'all to see this. Child, I clutched my pearls. I was like, wait a minute. Is this for real? Because I need y'all to see this photo of her on a cover of one of her singles. Yeah, here, this is cute. Like, I definitely like the lighting. She always looks gorgeous. There was one picture where they showed her, like, she took a bunch of pictures. I think it was for like before she went to the AMAs and stuff, and she just looked gorgeous. She looked glam, but she always looks that way. And I'm sure there's no love lost between her and Beyonce. Beyonce ain't bothering me. But this is what I wanted to show y'all. I gagged when I saw this picture. I was like, I need to send this in. So apparently she has a new single coming out called In the Morning. And she butt-ass naked. Now the question remains, at this day and age, does J-Lo need to be doing this? Number one, can we just say that for a woman to be 51 years old and look like this is some Benjamin Button sorcery. Period, point blank, and all that good stuff. Like, this is some Benjamin Button sorcery. She looks good. I like the photo. But it kind of makes you wonder, at this stage of the game, does she really need to be butt-ass naked on the cover of an album or a single just to grab your attention? And I think maybe the reality is maybe J-Lo's just not grabbing enough people with her music, so she has to resort to these little antics and things of that nature in order to, get attention. So, yeah, I think that's all I gotta, it's pretty much all I gotta say on that. I want to bring up something where I'm just gagging because the Grammys, child, I don't know what I want to say on this, but it's going to be a hell of a whole lot. So apparently the Grammy Awards nominations came out yesterday. I didn't know who was going to be nominated because I didn't get to see anything that went off, but it happened yesterday. The full list came out, and for some of them, I'm just going to read you a couple of them for the Grammys. I don't know. EJ, if you can, just pop in at any time. If you could work it on that. I know there's some technical issues and all that good stuff. So if you can pop in any time, girl, let me know. Or just feel free. So they said Record of the Year, Black Parade by Beyonce, Colors by Black Pumas. Now, y'all need to let me know what the hell is a Black Puma? I mean, the only Black Pumas I know was the ones I would wear on my feet if I actually bought some from the store, from Foot Locker or, any of the other sneaker stores. So I don't know what Puma is or what music they make or whatever. Pardon my ignorance. Rockstar by The Baby featuring Roddy Ricch, Say So by Doja Cat, Everything I Wanted by Billie Eilish, Don't Start Now by Dula Peep. Wendy Williams calls it that. So I just can't stop calling Dua Lipa Dula Peep. Goes by Post Malone and Savage for Megan Thee Stallion featuring Beyonce. Another category they had, Song of the Year, was by Beyonce and her 25 other songwriters, because they have a whole lot of songwriters that's here that is included in the nominations. I think it's like at least 7, but I said 25 or, 2 dozen. We'll just go with that. The Box by Samuel Glode and Roderick Moore, which is be Roddy Ricch. Cardigan by Taylor Swift. It's her and Aaron Dessner. Circles by Post Malone and a bunch of his other writers. Don't Start Now, Carolyn Allen, Ian Kirkpatrick, Dua Lipa, Emily Warren. Everything I Wanted by Billie Eilish O'Connell and Phineas O'Connell. I had no idea that Billie Eilish's last name was O'Connell. There's a bunch of other ones, but I don't particularly care. They have Album of the Year. Somebody, oh my God, I don't know, who are these people? Okay, I know album of the year, Janae Aiko, Pumas, the deluxe edition, Everyday Life by Coldplay. Coldplay put out where was I? Digest Volume 3 by Jacob Collier. I don't know who that is. Women in Music Part 3 by Haim. Future Nostalgia by Dula Peep. Hollywood's Bleeding by Post Malone and Folklore by Taylor Swift. Child, these awards about to be drier than some old lady's cooch. After menopause. I'm already bored. Best New Artist, Ingrid Andress, Phoebe Bridgers. Now, I am excited that Chica's part of this. You know, Chica is an out musician, so congratulations to her. And she also wrote she actually wrote the lyrics for, what the hell was that damn movie? The one that Power or something on that? Project Power with, oh my God, what's his name? Jamie Foxx. Noah Cyrus, D Smoke, Doja Cat, K Tronada, and Megan Thee Stallion. Now, I do know K Tronada because he's a dance artist. So I do like a lot of his stuff. Best Pop Duo Group Performance. There's a bunch of people in here. I just don't care. Yeah, I'm just bored with this list. If y'all want to see what the rest of the list is, y'all can definitely check it out online. But the best rap performance is Deep Reverence by Big Sean, featuring Nipsey Hussle, Bop by The Baby, What's Poppin' Jack Harlow, The Bigger Picture by Lil Baby, Savage, Megan Thee Stallion, and Dior by Pop Smoke. Now, the more interesting thing I thought was how a lot of celebrities weren't that excited over, well, some were happy, some weren't. So, oh, here we are.
Hi.
Split screen.
I'm here.
Yes, finally. So, what was I going to say? So, a couple of people gave their opinion. BTS wrote, well, first of all, when we learn English, I'll give a damn what the fuck they had to say. Megan Thee Stallion wrote, look at how the Stallion bodied that, ate it up and gave it back as she learned about her first ever nomination at the 2021 Grammys. Can I just also say that she gave another great performance at, and it's the same damn picture that I was just looking at on Twitter. I thoroughly enjoyed her body, yada, 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 yada. That's my song. I know one person I heard said that they can't stand it. I like that body, yada, yada. That was actually going to be one of the songs. I can't stop twerking it, but that was actually going to be one of the songs I was going to play on the radio, on the Kris Avalon show on Saturday. But I decided to go full on gay with Cakes the Killer and LaKaylee 47. But yeah, what were you going to say about Megan?
No, I was going to say it's actually a video, and we have the clip of her actually winning not getting nominated by surprise on live this morning.
What? Are you feeling good?
Oh, me? Oh my God! What?
But also, you have to keep watching because we're about to announce our general field categories. So you may be in play there. You never know. Stay tuned. Wishing you the best of luck, and we really hope to see you on the Grammy stage January 31st. And thanks again so much for doing this.
Thank y'all for having me.
All right, congrats.
Thank you. Bye, y'all.
Bye. Yes, you can see like she's super pumped, super excited. But there was someone, as you were alluding to before I chimed in, who wasn't. Please dish the tea.
Oh, so yeah, well, I'm about to get to Tiana Taylor. So she put, y'all was better off just saying best male R&B album because all I see is dick in this category. So what she put was she was talking about best R&B album, Happy to Be Here by Aunt Clemens, don't know who that is. Take Time by Giveon, don't know who that is. To Feel Love /D, I do know who Luke James is, so I'll give him that. Bigger Love by John Legend, and All Rise by Gregory Porter. So where's the women? And I'm about to get to, where's this one? Because I have it here. There were some snubs in the R&B category that I want to get to that, like they snubbed a lot of people. First of all, they snubbed Abel, aka The Weeknd. Beyonce got a lot of nominations for Black Parade. Girl, like y'all really trying to get her to show up. If she's smart, I wouldn't even go. because one of the things that irritates me is the fact that the lack of respect that the Grammys has shown to Black artists since its conception. So y'all snub Brandy, Toni Braxton, Tiana Taylor, Kalani, Alicia Keys, and Summer Walker, who all put out good albums this year. So you snubbed B7, which was the bet, in my opinion, the most mature album I could say of Brandy's career, and it kind of looked back on her past stuff, but it also moved it forward to like a woman in her fourth decade of living. So you shaded her. You shaded Toni Braxton, Spell My Name, which was a great R&B record, by the way. Like, it had a mix of everything. It had dance music on it, and it had R&B, the classic Toni Braxton thing, and it also brought her into the new generation. So you got Justin Bieber talking about, oh, I put out an R&B record and it didn't get nominated for motherfucker. You wouldn't know an R&B record if somebody gave you in the form of a tissue. You had to wipe your ass with it. He don't know nothing about no goddamn R&B. I'm gonna read you what he said in a second. But people dragged him for that shit too because his white privilege was showing. Tiana Taylor's the album. I like the concept. There was it was broken up into different sections. However, I didn't particularly like that album. I'm going to say that. Like, it's funny, I love the artwork. She was giving me Grace Jones. Like, I guess I like the concept and the idea of Tiana, but when her music hits, it's like, next. Alicia Keys, I haven't been able to get into her for years. Like, I just always felt classically trained pianist, that voice sometimes be wanting to go places where it tries to go and it misses the mark 9 times out of 10. But I can't get behind her anymore. Like, she's so basic to me. Like, I don't know. I used to like Alicia back in the day, but I just feel like she's overrated. And Summer Walker, she's cute. And I'm glad that Chloe and Halle got nominated as well.
Yeah, me too.
Where's that? Wait, I'm gonna get to the article on what Justin Bieber said. Oh wait, where is it? Because it was a long one. But I'm glad that Chica also spoke up and was glad that she said, I'm Grammy nominated. What the fuck?
Yes. Shout out to all the out artists. If you guys want to know, you can follow the weekly top 40 for more on that, huh?
Who was the other artist out artist that got nominated?
I believe it's Chica, K Tronada.
Oh yeah.
I think it was another one if I'm not mistaken too.
Yeah, because K Tronada is a out dance artist.
Yes.
So I definitely like the music. And I didn't even know he was gay, but I was just like, oh, I like the music. But Miss Petty, aka Nicki Minaj, I'm gonna get to what's his name's for in a second. Never forget the Grammys gave me my Best New Artist award when I had 7 songs simultaneously charting on the Billboard and bigger first week than any female rapper in the last decade, went on to inspire a generation. They gave it to the white man, Bon Iver. Well, I think because, she put out Pink Friday, and yes, that was a big successful album, and it really put her out in the stratosphere because she was she took basically the blueprint of Lil' Kim and took it to the next level. Rap-wise, they're completely different, but aesthetic-wise, there's a lot of similarities. So the Grammys always tends to go for artistic merit. What irritates me about the Grammys is how they tend to overlook Black artists time and time again to uplift their white artists. How the hell Adele wins over Beyonce is beyond me.
Well,
the fact that Macklemore won over Big Sean, what was it, Big Sean? It was J. Cole, Drake, Jay-Z, and a bunch of other bigger artists. How the fuck Macklemore went over them? When the last time y'all listened to a Macklemore song? I'll wait.
Well, I was gonna say that there remember like I think it was earlier this year there was a lot of like issues that came out about the Grammys, lawsuits. Remember the woman stepped down, and
Deborah Dugan,
right?
And I was about to bring that up too. That Deborah Dugan, for those of you watching, she was the president and CEO of the Academy, the Grammy, and she did a whole expose. Y'all can look it up online. In regards of that, there's a lot of I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine. A lot of people be doing like seedy little deals in regards of trying to get an artist to perform. So they'll flood them with a bunch of nominations, kind of like what they were trying to do with The Weeknd, and what The Weeknd is accusing them of the same kind of thing. So we have this story. I'll get to the Justin Bieber comment in a section. In a section. In a second. So he's basically saying, Justin Bieber, complained about their music genres being misrepresented by the committee. What The Weeknd is wondering is why certain songs, I guess, went unmentioned altogether. So it says, and I have his comment as well. So the Grammy chief, Harvey Mason Jr., took to the press to get back at the criticism that The Weeknd put out there. The Weeknd broke his silence after the surprising snub of his blockbuster album, After Hours. First of all, I can only name one song off that album. It's called Blinding Lights. I haven't heard no other single come off that album that the people are talking about, because it seems like that's the only song he's been everywhere performing, and he hasn't really been... I haven't heard any other song off that album that's been a follow-up.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna read you what Harvey Mason said after the criticisms and all this stuff. So they were saying that because The Weeknd is performing a week later on the Super Bowl, and the week before the Super Bowl is when the Grammys is happening. So January 31st is when the Grammys is happening, and then a week later we get the Super Bowl. So he said, congratulations to today's Grammy nominees who have earned their peers recognition for their incredible work. Cue eye roll. There was a record number of submissions in this unusual and competitive year. We understand. Hold on. He says, I lost my place. Hold on. We understand that The Weeknd is disappointed at not being nominated. I was surprised and can empathize with what he's feeling. You're a musician, so you can empathize? Okay. His music this year was excellent, and his contributions to the music community and broader world are worthy of everyone's admiration. We were thrilled when we found out he would be performing at this upcoming Super Bowl, and we would have loved to have him also perform at the Grammy stage the weekend before. Unfortunately, every year there are fewer nominations than the number of deserving artists. And can they explain to us why is that, though? But as the only peer-voted music award, we will continue to recognize and celebrate excellence in music while shining a light to the many amazing artists that make up our global community. Really? Because I have yet to see anybody on a global scale being nominated at the Grammys. I just see the same 10 people y'all vote for over and over. To be clear, voting in all categories ended well before The Weeknd's performance at the Super Bowl was announced, so in no way could it have been affected the nomination process. Well, The Weeknd is saying something different. He says the Grammys remain corrupt. You owe me and my fans the industry. Well, he says you owe me, my fans, and the industry transparency.
So does he. Why he look like that?
And then he also, they're saying there one squares up why Abel was omitted from the Grammy nods. He says it really just comes down to the voting body that decides. We have 8 nomination slots to fill in the big 4 categories: best album, song, record, and new artist, 5 in others, and the voters vote for their favorites. It's really interesting. Who are these voters?
I just want to know why he looked like he.
It says also in the interview, Harvey assured readers the voting committee's process is unbiased. All the records get the fairest of fair shakes. We listen to all the music, even an album. You listen to almost the whole album. It takes I don't know how many hours. It's a long, arduous process, and people take pride in it. The people in that room care. There is no agendas in there. There's no let's snub this person or that person. It's about let's try to find excellence. He was also asked if After Hours was even shortlisted. The Recording Academy chief refused to offer details. He says, we never talk about what's on the shortlist. I'll leave it at that. Well, I'm sorry. I feel like there is corruption going on in this. Nicki Minaj alluded to this when she talked about the Bon Iver situation. And there are rumors that's swirling that's stating that the reason why the reason why she's been snubbed and they basically used Cardi B to smite her by giving her a Grammy is because that she did the Roman holiday performance, the controversial performance at the Grammys, where she got up there. It was like a whole religious pope type situation, and that was so controversial that it rubbed everybody the wrong way, and they basically found ways to try to sabotage her. But I don't know if I agree with that. I also think like it could be at times her attitude and how well she plays with others. And a lot of times this has to do with politics. It's like whose ass you're kissing, if you have the right management who is in your corner that is really promoting and pushing you. I heard that because people like The Weeknd, Ariana Grande, and Nicki Minaj are part of Republic, that there's some kind of thing that's going on with them that they're not getting along over there. So there's a little unconscious bias, I would say, that's going on with the Grammys and Republic Records. So Justin Bieber said this. He says, to the Grammys, I'm flattered to be acknowledged and appreciated for my artistry. I'm very meticulous and intentional about my music. Now pay attention to what he says in the rest of this. With that being said, I set out to make an R&B album. Changes was and is an R&B album. I beg to differ, but okay. It is not being acknowledged as an R&B album, which is very strange to me. I grew up admiring R&B music and wished to make a project that would embody that sound. If you're going to go out and make an R&B record, you don't do what you can to embody what is R&B. You just make an R&B record. Point blank, period. For this not to be put in that category feels weird, considering from the chords to the melodies, to the vocal style, all the way down to the hip hop drums that are chosen. It is undeniably, unmistakably an R&B album. Well, if you're making R&B, you're using hip hop drums. I don't know what a hip hop drum is, because at the end of the day, I always say this: all roads, all music comes from Africa. The whole sound, the rhythms, everything comes from Africa. So calling it hip hop drums, I just have to laugh. To be clear, I absolutely love pop music. It just wasn't what I set out to make this time around. My gratitude for feeling respected for my work remains, and I am honored to be nominated either way. So you're bitching and moaning, but you're mad because you weren't put in a category. And I think it's because white artists are never going to be considered R&B or put in that category, because the record industry, a lot of it is based on old racial tropes. They want to put you in a box. Black people can only make urban music. Black people can never be seen as a pop artist. They're only seen as R&B, not pop, R&B or urban. We can never put you in a pop category, because pop just means popular. What's the most popular song that's going on right now? So, I don't know. I don't trust this whole situation. There's been many people that have been snubbed by the Grammys and this, that, and the third. One of them being, well, there's a whole lot. So Biggie's never won an award. Tupac, Busta, Snoop, Nas, J. Cole, Nicki Minaj, DMX. Diana Ross never even got a Grammy. She was ushered into the Grammy Hall of Fame, but she never actually won an award. Also, Bob Marley. I think she got a Lifetime Achievement. They also included Bob Marley, but that was way after his death. Prince's 1999 with Purple Rain entered the Grammy Hall of Fame, but never won any of his significant awards. So there have been many of people. Who was it also? Ella Fitzgerald never won a Grammy. So there are so many talented people of color that have never won awards and continue to be snubbed. So here's the reality. I know I've just been rambling on and on and on, and I don't know what happened to EJ. He just disappeared. But if you want to come on in and give your opinion on the whole Grammy situation. Why do we continue to give our energy to the Grammys? I always felt like when I was coming, I can remember when Black people couldn't get on American Bandstand or any of those type of shows, Don Cornelius took matters in his own hands and created Soul Train. When MTV did not show respect to Black artistry and Black artists, people who were Black had to fight tooth and nail to get on MTV once upon a time. I know some of y'all should know that. But what I wonder is that when that happened, they created the BET Awards. So why do we continue to give value to the Grammys? The Grammys is the pinnacle, the end all be all, because I know at one hand, the Grammys, yes, they are the Oscars of the music industry. But if the music industry and the Grammy committee is not going to respect our artistry and respect us and our contributions to the music industry, why do we continue to give credence to a platform that doesn't respect us?
Yeah.
That's what I'm wondering. Oh, I just see a black screen. So yeah, I don't know why we continue to do that. I feel like we should stop doing that. And as they say, be better. Don't be bitter. Be better. So maybe out of protest, a lot of these artists should stop supporting a lot of these award shows. Show up to the BET Awards. I know a lot of black people trying to turn their nose up at, the BET Awards, the Soul Train Awards, which is coming up, isn't it? I think the Soul Train Awards is coming up soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, we should be out here supporting those shows and stop giving energy to the people that don't support us. I also want to give a quick shout out to Amber Riley, who's engaged to her boyfriend, Deshaun Black. And I also heard that, oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, Trevor Noah's hosting the Grammys, by the way, if y'all care. Also, I heard Fantasia's pregnant. And who else is engaged? Gabourey Sidibe. Congratulations to her. She's engaged to her boyfriend. I'm glad she's found love. I know, but why is she marrying a white man? Well, because a lot of you Negroes don't know how to handle a woman like Gabourey. How about that?
Love
don't
is
sit
love.
and worry about why somebody's with somebody that's of a different race, because you couldn't get, do whatever. But oh, and I also forgot to mention American Music Awards. Child, you want to know how their ratings did? 3.8 million people tuned in. The award show was boring anyway. And that was another thing I was going to say about the American Music Awards. American Music Awards, Grammys, all these shows are boring. So I'm not even going to watch the Grammys this year. I just see a black screen. I want to see if EJ darling, you're able to come in, or I know you're trying to. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you can't.
Stream is just carrying today. So, Cardi B is blasting Wiz Khalifa because there was a story that came out
Can you hear
that there was basically he shared a tweet belittling Cardi's Grammy nominations as to uplift Nicki. So Wiz wrote, most self-made artists have that. Well, Hood Bitch wrote, and that's some girl, I guess, Nikki Barb 9. Problem, and they said Cardi winning proof that they don't know a shit about music. Clearly jarred, Cardi took to Twitter to share a DM that Wiz allegedly sent her early on her journey. She said, "This was niggas in my DM in 2016. They really support you when they grinding at the bottom. Then it's a different story when you make it." And he put, "You got your cause and you're sticking to it. Don't stray away from the things that are important to you." No, I cannot see you or hear you. I don't know what's going on with Restream. Maybe we should stop it and then restart and then come back in, because I don't know what's going on. Apparently this is the second time in a week that Restream has been trying my nerve. We're doing a live show, and anyway, so yeah, he wrote, "You got your cause and you're sticking to it. Don't stray away from the things that are important to you and make you you. You're doing a great job, and the way you address things is admirable. Keep your light shining and don't let others take it. Peace and love." So I don't understand why. And this is what she wrote, because I was going to say I don't understand why, but she wrote, because I was going to agree with what she was saying. I was going to give my thought and then give hers, but I was going on with it. She says, "I don't understand why niggas entertain tweets and pit successful women against each other. You're not tired of that, especially when you was rooting hard when a bitch was at the bottom." Well, guess what? So apparently, and I think Offset jumped in on it too, but I really wish that Cardi would stop giving so much energy to people who disagree with her. and would focus on being a mother, keeping culture out of trouble. And speaking of keeping things out of trouble, she should focus on trying to keep Offset from fucking other bitches. That's what you need to focus on instead of worrying so much about what everybody has to say about you. Like, who cares? I know, like, it just gets under her skin, and I feel like don't let these people get to you. He also came up and said, I just don't want a Cardi Wiz war going on for no reason. Well, you put something out there, and you should expect, like, they're gonna go in and let it happen. But child, let me tell you this. Oh, he also, I forgot to mention, Offset jumped in and said niggas be hoes. So he went in and had something to say about him. But there's a whole bunch of stuff that's going on. So what's her name? Azealia Banks, shady queen that she is, had a lot to say about the situation. Here's what she said. Because Cardi B wrote, I don't understand why niggas entertain tweets that pit successful women against each other. You're not tired of that, especially when y'all was rooting hard when a bitch was at the bottom. So Azealia Banks wrote, now it's putting successful women against each other. But when literally everyone was putting Nicki down just so you could shine, you had nothing to say because someone else's misfortune benefited you. I hate a disingenuous ass bitch. Go to hell. I'm like, well, goddamn. Well, another thing I would have to say is that maybe the reason why Cardi didn't have anything to say is because they were beefing at the time. So when they were propping her up and using her in a way to discredit Nicki and bring her down, because apparently, you know, we can't have more than one woman out here being successful. Like we see Megan Thee Stallion, we see Doja Cat, they both got Grammy nominations. And a whole lot of other stuff that's going on. So we see other women that, yes, Nicki paved the way for a lot of this new generation of girls to come through. But girl, you wasn't the first. Like people like Foxy, Kim, MC Lyte, Missy Elliott, so many other women that came before, Roxanne Shante, Queen Latifah, like so many of these women paved the way for you to be where you are. So if you would sit here and say, you paved the way, it's like, girl, you done lost your mind. What else? So, yeah. So Azealia Banks went on to say this. Another thing I am Cardi B. Stop pretending to be so offended that people are rightfully saying you ain't self-made because in your heart you know for a fact that it's true. We all know Atlantic went around shopping for someone to put against Nicki, and you weren't even a first option. More shade. There was also a popular UK female rapper, Lady Leisure, who revealed that Atlantic Records wanted to pay her $250,000 to start a beef with Nicki. So if there is, and I do agree, there is a lot of that goes on, but you have people behind the scenes and this, that, and the other that want to bring people in and throw shade and basically say that, oh, we don't like this person, we want to bring them down, so we want to bring people in to go against this artist to create controversy and create a beef and bring all these other things in, so that way when you are watching these people, it ignites feuds, it gets y'all interested, y'all want to pick sides. I don't pick sides. I like who I like. I like the music, I'm gonna rock with them. If you say something out of line, I'm gonna drag you for it. So people just need to be fair. You can like both. And I don't honestly have a problem, like whether or not Cardi bought her Grammy, whatever the case is, I don't care. I don't mind. Like it's whatever. It's bullshit politics. How many asses you kiss and this, that, and the other. Do I believe that it's possible? I mean, I need to see proof with the receipts. Like people out here spreading stories that who was it? Academy Music Business. There was somebody that was on Twitter that basically tweeted that Cardi B's label paid for her Grammy, and it's the votes that they paid for. And it's sort of like, unless you have chronic, solid evidence, I'm just going to take it as opinion and not fact. Like, I need to see receipts. And Azealia Banks with I wasn't even done with her. She says, like, I'm generally tired of this bitch always playing the victim and always running to IG Live crying anytime someone calls her out on her shit. When will you open your eyes and see that you are the problem? She definitely has a lot to say. Even her sister Hennessy went and tried to defend her sister, but that's your sister. So that just goes without saying that she's going to come in and defend her. But overall, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm not going to be watching the Grammys this year. Like, I'll probably go on YouTube, and if when the performances pop up, like I did with the AMAs, I'll definitely check out some of the performances. But as far as like sitting and watching people give out awards and give speeches and nominations, I just feel like this industry is so corrupt and so ridiculous in how they put things together that I just personally don't care. I don't care who's nominated. No one ever remembers who's nominated a year from now. You don't have an eclectic group of people who get on stage and perform. It's like the Grammys, like so many of these other award shows have lost their relevancy, and it just doesn't have that oomph that it once had. Like when I was younger, growing up and watching a lot of these award shows, there was just an eclectic group of people that I could sit and watch and enjoy, and I actually grew to like listen to the music and like the music, and it got me interested in wanting to get their albums. These days, I don't give a shit. It's like, yeah, these days I just don't care. I don't care about who these people are and stuff. Okay, so I think I'm done with the Grammys. We can go move on from that. If y'all care, let me know. So Bow Wow is out here running his mouth over some shit where he's one of those people that just needs to be seen and not heard. So he took to Instagram and shared his thoughts on older rappers he believes have worn out their welcome in the music industry. So he says, some of these older guys are starting to look like haters. You're not supposed to understand not supposed to understand the music, but let's praise these young artists for making a way for themselves. Some of y'all old heads have to accept it's over and find a new way to continue on your legacy. It doesn't look good on y'all resume. Well, you know, maybe Bow Wow or Shad needs to take his own goddamn advice, because aren't you an old head your damn self? You're out here talking about old heads, but you've been making music for 20 years. Like, you start out, what, at like 8 or 10 or whatever, and people was writing your rhymes. I still believe people was writing your rhymes, even as an adult. But he also went on to say, I'm all for what's going on. I love what these young brothers is doing. Keep it up, you guys are now. That don't make no sense, but okay. And the future of this business, don't let nobody tell you different. I think Bow Wow's trying to get a feature. That's what he's trying to do, because, you know, he's on that show, Growing Up Hip Hop. I don't know anybody that watches that show. I remember I watched the show in the first season out of curiosity. I was bored. It's just not interesting. Y'all trying to be loving hip hop so goddamn bad over there, but you're just not interesting. I also feel that Bow Wow is a stunt queen. He likes to put on a bunch of stunts and shows just to get attention, just to go viral or whatever the case. Like, you be faking going on private planes when you was riding coach and you got busted. So this heifer up in here being fake for the cameras, and all this good stuff. I don't care about him. I just think he's trash. And yes, you've been in the industry for a long time, but you always saying something dumb. He also said something about women, like hoes and all this. I'm not even gonna get into that, because it just sounds like he just says stupid shit. But I think maybe what he's referring to is the fact that a lot of the older rappers, and this goes with anybody, whenever you get an older generation of people looking at the younger generation, a lot of times the older generation will forget what it's like to be that younger generation. Because I'm sure, like, when I was growing up, well, now I'm sure I witnessed it. When I was growing up, I always had older people kind of like, what's that? You listen, that music is trash, that and the other. And it's like, no, it's not. And then you look back on it, it's like, it's classic music. I'm not saying this current state of rap music is great, because quiet as it's kept. This bumble rap shit, I don't get it. Like, what are y'all saying? And it's over the same tight ass trap beat. The lyrics make no damn sense, and I like hip hop. I'm all about lyrical content and being of substance. Like I said this year, Busta Rhymes, in my opinion, put out one of my favorite albums. There's a lot of great rap music. Like, I'm not gonna just sit up here and say all the younger generation is trash. I love Kendrick Lamar. I love J. Cole. I like a lot of Drake stuff. I like some of Wiz Khalifa stuff. There are some artists out here that are. I even like some of Post Malone songs. There's some people out here who are putting out quality music, but I think a lot of times y'all like to focus on a certain group of people, and they get criticized. So Bow Wow, who is of the older ilk, needs to respect the elders that came before him, the ones who actually got hits, because I can't name one damn Bow Wow song. Like, you throwing shade at, like, hello, what's my old heads? Who was the old heads that said something? Was it 50 Cent? Because, 50 Cent always got something to say. So it's probably, I don't know who he was alluding to, who he's referring to. Like, we should have been more specific. I would like them to be more specific, but it is what it is. So yeah, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a short break, try to work out these little technical situations as we are live. And when we come back, we are going to talk about Barack Obama on The Breakfast Club. I want to also talk about the I Love New York reunion, and we're gonna talk about oh my God, the Will Smith and Viv reuniting and squashing their beef. So I want to get my opinion on them. We got some clips in case y'all didn't see it. But yeah, we'll be right back. So we'll take a short break. Don't go anywhere. We recently collaborated with on the single Ati and Lonely. I should also point out that they're in a movie together. I think it's called Marry Me, which I had just heard has been delayed to the summer. It's supposed to come out around Valentine's Day, but due to coronavirus and all this other stuff that's going on here, we heard that Pfizer has a vaccine that they're pushing through, and stocks have gone up and all this other stuff. So they're hoping to have, and then movie theaters be open in the summertime, so that's why they pushed it. Because I don't see movie theaters opening up early next year. I don't. I just see like things will probably get back to semi-normal. So she's alleging that she says Malone felt very much in love with Jennifer Lopez, saying that he's drawn to her because she's a 51-year-old woman. Does she remind him of his mother of some sort? Because, J-Lo was that age. Not only that, but Malone claims Lopez is just as into Maluma. In fact, they're having a secret affair. I really see that they've had a sexual relationship, and that the pair talks about their deep love for one another all the time on the and on WhatsApp. Okay, girl. But she didn't stop there. Moni also alleged that in addition to with J-Lo, Maluma is also sexually attracted to both men and women. She says Maluma is bisexual. He is with someone from Colombia who's also a singer. Who? J Balvin? Put me on. So in addition to allegedly engaging in a secret affair with J-Lo, Maluma is also allegedly hooking up with a male singer from Colombia on the DL. All of this, of course, is complete and utter BS. I'm just going to say, you know what? I don't know if I believe this story. While I'm entertained by it, while it's cute and all that good stuff, I don't know if I believe this Charles up in here talking about to us having a secret affair with a Colombian singer from Colombia. Who's you out here spilling tea? Spill all of it, Miss Clairvoyant. Come on, Oda Mae Brown, spill the tea. Let us know who it is. J-Lo is engaged to A-Rod. And Maluma has said in the past that he's not into guys, and if he were, he'll definitely say so. This is what he said in February. He also said, the one who said that I'm gay, lend me your girlfriend to see how gay I am. I hate when people say that because then I'll look at you and think that, okay, oh, how gay I am. It just shows like, oh, that's just some typical hetero BS that y'all like to say to prove how much of a man you are. Do I believe that Maluma might be a little fluid? Possibly. I mean, he is a good-looking man. He's a pretty boy. He called himself Pretty Boy Dirty. So he is of the pretty boy spectrum. He is a good guy. I could definitely see him getting freaky or being sexually fluid or whatever the case. And if he is, so what? Who cares? Look, Ricky Martin cannot be the only homosexual or the only man running around from queer tea. Hello. And welcome back. Welcome back to the Kris Avalon, Wednesday Night Kiki, the finale, and all that good stuff. I don't know. If we worked out all the technical stuff, the music's playing. Ooh, my back. I had to crack it. But yes, we're back. With some more Wednesday Night Kiki. I don't know if EJ, you can try to find a way to pop in every now and again, or because I know there's technical issues on your end, let me know. But I want to talk about the Will Smith, Janet Hubert, Fresh Prince reunion. I've noticed there's been a lot of reunions coming on because last week the HBO Max one premiered. The same night, the last Wednesday, when I was filming this, I forgot to talk about it, like to bring it up and be like, everybody be sure to watch it, but it's already out. And I see a lot of people talking about it. I did talk about it on my podcast. I definitely loved it. I love the fact that they sat and remedied, like whoever, I have to say, the person who put it together and produced it, kudos to you guys. Like it was definitely, oh yeah, I can hear you. Yes.
All right.
I love the like how they put it all together, like the way they produced it, they edited, they actually brought them in to I don't see you though. How they brought them
Damn it.
For, you know, how they brought in the whole cast, even down to little Nicky, who, child, he was cute as a kid, but as an adult, I don't want to speak ill of anybody, but we just gonna keep it at that. I just like how they reminisce and all this other stuff. And what got me almost choked up a bit was the James Avery tribute. He passed away, I think, in 2014 or something like that. I'm not necessarily sure, but he passed away a couple of years ago. I forget exactly what it was, but just anybody reminiscing, and it would be nice to know like what everybody was up to. Like we all know Will's the big movie star still. Alfonso's on America's Funniest Home Videos. And I don't know what I think Karen Parsons has been writing kids' books and things of that nature. I don't necessarily know what happened to Tatiana Ali. I think Tatiana Ali is probably like, I think she does like Hallmark type stuff. Like a lot of the people from my generation, that's where they kind of end up doing Lifetime movies of the week or Hallmark movies and stuff. Like you look at Candace Cameron Bure, she's like the queen of Hallmark movies. So with that being said, I like the reunion. I love particularly that Janet and Will squashed their beef. There's a clip I want to show you. I'm trying to remember exactly what this clip is. I think this is them about to watch Will and Janet squash the beef. And to me, it just felt like a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. I wasn't even in the midst of it. She wasn't even throwing shade at me on social media, but I just felt like a huge weight was lifted off my shoulders after watching it, because it was great to see them just release 27 years of tension. 27, I can't believe it was 27 damn years. Y'all let this shit rock. But yeah, let's play that clip. Oh, sorry. This is the James Avery tribute. And just watching like I don't have any audio, but yeah, this is the final episode when they all hugged and they cleared out the house and they all moved. 2013 is when he passed. And to see like this moment of them just like after the tribute was not a dry eye in the house, which is sad to watch. Even Jazz was crying.
Well, guys, give him a hand. Give him a hand. Yeah. Oh, James, let me see.
Mm-hmm. And then he was saying like, what's his name? Joseph Marcel, who played Jeffrey. Him just going like, yeah, let's give him a hand. That was like very, because he's a theater actor, it's like, we took the moment and it's a little emotional, but let's break the ice and let's just, let's celebrate. Don't just wallow in the sadness. Because that's one thing is like when you die, you don't want people to just be all crying and sad and stuff and wallowing in the sadness. You want them to actually celebrate your life. And it's funny how like Will said that he wanted James to respect him as an actor and look up to him in a way. It was like, you know what? I respect what you're trying to do. Because, you have to realize when he was 21 years old, he had this opportunity. He was in millions of dollars in debt, I guess, from, when you're signed to a label and you're spending all this money to put together an album and then you're touring and all this other stuff. You have to pay all these people back. You got to pay the producer. You got to pay, all these other people that are working with you on this record before you even see a dime. So this also alludes to Will and Janet and their conversation where she goes on set and they meet for the first time and talking about the huge weight that was on his shoulders and the weight that was on her shoulders at the time and everything that she was going through on a personal level. So breaking all that down, I want you to watch this clip. Oh, this is I remember. This is the clip of Janet coming to set after her and Will having the conversation. Like they had the little chat and she hugged everybody, but the sleuths on social media happened to notice that Alfonso was missing from their little meetup, which I didn't even notice when I was watching. I was so caught up in just being a part of what was going on with the show that I was just sit up in here and playing Inspect the Goddamn Gadget. Like sometimes I just watch stuff and I'm watching and I'm engaged. I'm not getting caught up in all the little shenanigans. So the people are out here stating that there may be another beef between Alfonso and Janet. And she's like, there's no beef here. But then again, she went on a podcast and basically stated that he was, and he said it as well, he was off shooting America's Funniest Home Videos. He was only available to do like the whole group sit down for one day. And they shot everything else when he wasn't there because he had a commitment to doing America's Funniest Home Videos. So he was stuck doing that. And she did go on a podcast. Can't remember the name of it. Forgive me for not remembering. But she went on to say basically that Oh, he was off doing America's Funniest Home Videos, and it's funny because I haven't watched the show since he, got the job. So you threw a little shade, which makes what's going to insinuate that people think that there's still a little something that's brewing between them. But yes, I thought this was a prominent moment, and I want y'all to watch this clip with sound of the clip.
No sound.
Without you, I can't live without you. I can't live without you. I can't live without you. I can't. I can't.
Okay, so, oh Lord. There's some technical issues because it's freezing, it's no sound, it's not playing. Today is really a trying day, but we're gonna keep it going, Gert. So after the little situation that happened, Monique has something to say about it over on the 19th of, we'll just leave the picture up and I'll just keep it going. So she talked about, because I watched this, so I'll just tell y'all what happened. So she basically told us there's a lot of stuff going on in her life. She was dealing with a very complicated pregnancy. She was dealing with a lot of stuff at home. I guess her husband was abusive to her. So she said that I came to work and I couldn't trust anybody. And to me, it's like when you are diligent into your job, you're asking to be fired. And then on top of that, she wound up saying that when Will will go and you use that word difficult towards someone, and that is a trigger when it comes to women, especially Black women, especially dark-skinned Black women, because there was groundbreaking to see someone like an Aunt Viv, who was a dark-skinned Black woman, in a part that she played where rich Black people in Bel Air, and you see a dark-skinned Black woman being celebrated in such a way that she's smart. She was a teacher. She was very sophisticated. She didn't play. I mean, she did play around and she had her little funny moments, but she was, a strong woman. And that goes with any job. If I'm dealing with some stuff at home, I don't bring that into the workplace. You don't bring that into the workplace. You check the ego. You check all the other stuff at the door. And I think what he also said, because he was on Red Table Talk, he basically stated that he wanted to prove to her or seek her approval, because you have to realize when you have someone who is classically trained, theater trained, like Janet Hubert and like James Avery, and you're just some little punk that's given a job, or basically given a show by Quincy Jones and Benny Medina and Honey. I don't know if y'all saw the Kris Avalon show, but I did give a little illusions and some implications, about Miss Benny Medina. She is a queen, honey. And she's a member of the LGBT LMNOP community. And I'm not saying that Will Smith may have, did a little, brought his knee pads to a meeting to get a gig. But when I've watched, if you watch Will Smith in early seasons of Friends, you see
Word can kill.
Who was playing? Hold on.
Reputation, everything. And I understand you were able to move forward, but those words, calling a Black woman difficult in Hollywood, is the kiss of death. It's hard enough being a dark-skinned Black woman in this business. Words can kill.
Words are, like she says, words can kill and words are powerful, but you can't all put it off on him. There have been some things that he probably said that may have had a hand in getting her fired, but she also, set her own self up to be fired. When you come in there, you don't speak to the cast, and you're giving attitude, and your energy is just all wrong. I don't want to be around you. Like, if somebody's like that and comes in with that energy, I can't be around that person. It affects not only you, but the whole rapport of everybody you're working with. So when you're a part of an ensemble cast and you're negative, bitch, you asked to be fired. And I really hope at this point, I'm glad that they squashed the beef. And I hope at this point that, you know what? Now that they've made it all work out and Janet can stop going and throwing shade on social media towards him and they can stop going back and forth and all saying all this other stuff, that she can get some opportunities, that she can get roles. I'm sure Tyler Perry will give her something. You know, he'll hire anybody at this point. But I mean, not saying that she's not a good actor, because she is. She's classically trained. I think she went to Juilliard. So I'm hoping that she gets, you know, the piece that she does. One person that's hoping that she gets what Janet and Will got is Monique. So she went to Instagram and said, speaking of which, did y'all hear Monique is joining OnlyFans? Her and Michael B. Jordan. I really need the mainstream to stop trying to put out OnlyFans. Like, no, leave that to the porn stars and a lot of these young entrepreneurs trying to come and make something of themselves. So she wrote, hats off to Will Smith for apologizing for what he said at Janet Hubert's, everybody's Aunt Viv, career/life when he was young. She wrote on Thursday, November 19th. This was on Instagram, adding that he promised to make a public apology to her. Now she went and said this: perhaps Tyler Perry, who has admitted in private that he was wrong, will follow suit and be man enough to apologize in public like he promised. We'll work on Oprah Winfrey and Lionsgate a little later. The comedian then added, P.S. Tyler, you won E's People's Choice Award for being the people's champ for your body of work. Well, I've yet to see him be the people's champ for his body of work, because he writes the same tight-ass characters over and over and over again. Tell the truth about a woman named Monique who did nothing wrong and be a champion for the individuals who supported your career for years. The black women. Please swipe to hear Tyler Perry say it with his own words. Monique also added an audio recording alleging of Tyler Perry calling her a brilliantly talented and admitting that she would have a lot more happening. She said, I'm sure, I thought for sure that if you had campaigned, and won it and played by their rules, that would have happened as in the Netflix deal. You would have gotten millions of dollars. Then your career to film would have been much different. The person in the audio said, I believe that much in your talent. Well, look, it's no surprise that, you know, artists talk out of both sides of their mouth, that people will say one thing in private and will say something completely different in public. But do I think Monique and Tyler Perry will squash their beef? I don't know. I don't think so. I think she'll probably have to wait 27 years for that to happen. But with Monique continuously coming out here and constantly going on and on and on and on and on about this, she's clearly in the same position that Karen is in. I mean, Karen, that, oh my God, Janet is in. Hurt people. She's a hurt person. Hurt people hurt people. And when you're hurt, when you're disappointed, when you can't get a job, when you lost your home, when you lose your husband, when you lose everything and you've hit rock bottom, it's like, what do you do but lash out and point blame at others? And I feel like, you know what, Monique, I'll say this, don't hold your breath when it comes to these other people who don't take value in your career and have thrown you under the bus to make something of themselves or to big themselves up. Like, you're not going to get that apology from Oprah. You're not going to get that apology from Tyler Perry. I don't see it happening. So kudos to everybody that appeared in the reunion. It was a great reunion. There's another reunion I did see. I saw the I Love New York reunion. It was cute to see some of the people come back on the show. Like, you had, I love this picture. Everybody looks great here. And the funny thing is, like, Karen Parsons looks the same. Tatiana Ali, everybody looks pretty much the same. And it kind of also made me wonder, what made NBC choose to recast Aunt Viv with a lighter skin actress? Known full and well, there's a whole colorism issue that's going on in the industry. So I don't understand like why y'all will go, oh, we're gonna pick a black woman and we pick a light skin woman. Quiet as it's kept, I will say that In Vim #2 makes more sense as to the way the daughters look, because they had like light skin with the hair, the soft and curly hair. Like you look at Janet Hubert and it's like, which one of these kids look like she could have birthed them? Unless you have like one of those, you know, look back at the ancestry and you see like you have, you know, the mother with the Indian hair. You know what? I had this idea. I was like, what if they came out with a movie and they had both Aunt Viv play like a lesbian couple? Like, you know, you have your grandmother who's a lesbian and that's the partner, and they kind of bring them. That would be such a funny, ironic little situation when you have both Aunt Vivs playing a married couple in like one of my old Lifetime movies or something or another. Like, I just think that would be funny. What else did I have to say? I know EJ had some topics that he wanted to talk about, but apparently, I don't know, there's some technical issues that he can't come in and talk. But I want to wrap this up soon. So I want to talk about the whole Barack Obama thing, and I want to also get to I Love New York. She's on the cover of Paper Magazine. Paper Magazine, I love the pictures and everything that was on there. She also talked about the I Love New York reunion, which I actually watched yesterday, and I loved it. It was good to see her. She said she's happy and she's in love and she's in a relationship. It was good to see her rekindle past situations with people. I had no idea White Boy, who was on there, is best friends with Pitbull. And he said that he appeared in a commercial, I think it was a Super Bowl commercial, with Pitbull and J-Lo. He looked completely different. He had like dreadlocks, and it was the whole background was on, had like Buddhas, and it looks like he smokes weed and meditates. Like, it was just a whole nother White Boy. I always thought White Boy was cute too. I have a little thing for white men with swag, or just men with swag in general. That's just like, okay, those are the fuck boys. But he, to me, just came across as very much like very zen, very spiritual. It was also to see her talk about her relationship with Taylor Made, who she chose, I believe, in season 2. And she also had a conversation with, oh my God, I forgot his name, the one she chose for season 1 to get married. And he basically refused to give her the ring and dumped her at the reunion. And she said she should have picked Real instead. So seeing all of that and her sitting there talking with people who they rekindled the whole situation. Because I think, who was it? Chance died, but Real refused to. Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm mixing them up. But and remember when Real Chance of Love happened and all this stuff. And when you look at it, what is it? Like, I look at the Pauly D and Vinny show. It's very similar to a lot of those shows. And I love how it was groundbreaking to see someone like Tiffany New York Pollard, who was the first Black woman to have her own Bachelor. Like, they go to the Bachelorette, first Black person, or the Bachelor, first Black. No. Tiffany New York Pollard was the first Black woman to have her own show like The Bachelor, which, in my opinion, I Love New York, Flavor of Love, those were the better shows. And yes, she is looking fierce up in here. I love New York, literally. I'm not saying I Love New York as the show, but I love New York. Like, I've been a fan of her since the beginning. That show was hilarious. She definitely is a star, has star quality, and I would one day to meet her, because I would definitely have like a couple of drinks and a kiki with Tiffany. So yeah, that was definitely, if you guys ever get a chance, definitely check it out. I think it was like an hour and a half. One of the things I want to also see, I didn't get around to watching. I really wish I would have been able to watch it so I could have talked about it here. But Hollywood X's had a reunion also on VH1. So VH1 is like doing a lot of reunions of sorts. So I guess were they all inspired by the Fresh Prince reunion, or just so coincidental that all of these reunions were coming out, or all these reunions were happening? But I haven't watched the Hollywood X's reunion. I'm definitely going to sit around and watch that one, because I'm sure Drea is going to open up about her marriage to R. Kelly, where I think she said something that she was married, but she was never really a wife. Of course, we're going to have that, the queen of the whores up in there. What's her name? Nicole Murphy, who likes to go around sleeping with other, who can't close her legs, the married men. I definitely want to hear what she got to say about that, or if they even bring that up. But I also want to hear behind the scenes tea and the secrets and stuff with all the women that were on there. Maite Garcia, like I want to see what everybody's up to. And it was hosted by Jeannie Mai. Well, I wonder if they shot this before her surgery or after, because I know like she had surgery and she couldn't speak for a while. So I wonder if they shot this around the time that she was doing Dancing with the Stars and before she had to go undergo the knife for her throat. But yeah, so shout out to her on that. And Barack Obama. So there's a story. Well, he appeared on The Breakfast Club this week. So if you guys get a chance, definitely check out that interview. It was an in-person interview where DJ Envy, Charlamagne Tha God, Angela Yee, they all social distanced in the little chairs. And Barack Obama was there in the room and they had this big conversation. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm definitely going to catch it. I'm going to check it out. But I got some highlights. So basically there was a story that came out where they said that he didn't do enough for Black people during his time in office. So he was asked, how does he feel when African Americans or other... Okay, pause. I hate the term African Americans. Number one, none of us were born in Africa. A lot of our ancestors were brought over here on slave ships. However, African American, I feel like unless you were born in Africa and you came over here and got a citizenship, then you are African American. We Black. Sorry. We people of color. We Black. I know goddamn African American. But anyway, so I don't know, y'all want to come with these political damn correct terms, but y'all bow with that. So I remember hearing that about the fact that African Americans and other minority groups feel that he didn't do enough for Black people during the 8 years he was president. And he says, you know what? I understand it. When I got elected, there was so much excitement and hope. And I also think that we genuinely view the presidency as almost like a monarchy in a sense of, well, once the president is there, he can just do whatever he needs to get done. And if he's not doing it, then it must be because he didn't want to do it. Well, I think this is the overall attitude of why people, think of the current idiot that's in the White House, because he was just going off on tangents and being like, I'm going to do whatever I want. And they just let him do whatever because Republicans are who they are. But when Barack Obama was president, he was railroaded from the beginning. Like we had that loose neck bastard, Mitch McConnell, who was just like, we're going to make sure you're a one-term president. He turned out to be a two-term president. So he didn't get to determine how long Barack was going to stay in office and be president. So he's had an issue with Barack from the gate, where he wouldn't let him do whatever he wanted to do, especially like with Obamacare and stuff. He had to go fight tooth and nail to get that passed because, all Mitch McConnell's good at is stealing people's money and letting, things pile up on his desk that need to be signed off. Kind of like now, like nothing's still been written in this, that, and they want to go on vacation and people still don't have jobs. People don't have a lot going on and they don't give a damn. So Barack also says, I think that anybody who goes into public life, they need to understand that, yeah, you're going to get criticized because that's just the nature of it. If you don't want that, then you shouldn't be in that business. The good news for me is that I was very confident in what I had done for Black folks because I had the statistics to prove it. Now, there were some things that Obama has done. He also says that he listed some of the things that he achieved for Black Americans. He says that by the time I left office, you had 3 billion African Americans have health care that didn't have it before. You had seen the incarceration rate, the number of Black folks in prison drop for the first time in years. You had seen the juvenile correction system, 30% fewer people in there. You had seen Black poverty drop to its lowest level since 1968. You had seen Black businesses rise. You had seen Black income go up. Well, 45 tries to take credit for all of that. He also said, so I could just look at the data and I could say millions of Black folks were better off at a time I left office than when I came in. And what I have to accept, and I think any president has to accept, is the fact that, okay, so I got 20 million people health care, but there are still 10 million out there who don't have health care because Republicans blocked me from what I wanted to do with Obamacare. I can understand why they would be upset. And that's exactly what I said before I even read this. He also went on to say, at the end of the day, there was no way in 8 years to make up for 200 years. And I think that's exactly what people wanted. People wanted Obama to They thought they were going to get reparations. They thought they were going to get that 40 acres and a mule the minute that he got into office. And quiet as it's kept, that's not exactly how politics work. It takes a long time for things to steamroll and get going. And I think down the road, we're still going to see a lot of Obama's policies take shape, even though the current idiot president has tried a lot to dismantle everything that Obama had to fight tooth and nail to push forth. So yeah, the economy was doing well when he fixed everything and got everything going. There were a lot of people who were on healthcare. I remember when I moved to LA, I got healthcare like that. It's still crazy how like I look outside now, and I was just looking the other day, it's like the lines to city MDs are around the block. So it kind of makes me wonder, like with medical insurance and stuff and all this other stuff, seeing the fact that there's a lot of people out here without insurance, and they're having to go to these little mom and pop doctor offices just to get a COVID vaccine so they can travel to the home and spread this virus for Thanksgiving, when people should keep their asses home, which is exactly what I'm doing. I would love to be going out and seeing my family and this, that, and the other for Thanksgiving, but I'm staying home. I'm cooking dinner. I'm avoiding trying to get sick. So yeah, definitely check out that episode. I would really have liked EJ to come in because he's really good with, I mean, not that I'm not, but I would have liked to have gotten a different political perspective on, I mean, I don't see you, but can we hear you? I don't know. But I would really have loved to have heard the perspective of what you think of this, and has Obama done enough for Black people? Because I think a lot of people think that, oh, because we have a Black president, and I don't agree with voting people based off of, oh, because you're a woman, I'm gonna vote for you. Because you're Black, I'm gonna vote for you. Because you're gay, I'm gonna vote for you. Like, I'm not gonna vote for Pete Buttigieg because he, you know, butt fucks. Like, that's not a reason to vote for someone. What are your policies? Do your policies match the same interests that I believe in politically, or what's going to move this country forward? So that's the way we should look at things. And I believe at the time, if I remember, Barack was a breath of fresh air as a politician, and it kind of wish we had. I still didn't get that energy from Biden, but look, we already know this is a way of, let's get him out. Then once we get this thing going and we get the country back up and running, oh yes. So I see you now. So now we can get things rolling. There was a tweet. Oh my God, I need to look for it. I'm gonna let you talk and give your opinion, but I need to look up this tweet that Biden posted today, and I had to comment on it.
Okay.
What you gotta say?
Well, I for one, I'm listening to you, and I definitely agree with the way how we view Barack Obama's term, both of his terms. And it's fair criticism for Black Americans to say that he hasn't done enough for us. And Obama is well aware enough to like take the punches. Mm-hmm. However, I just think sometimes it could come off a little unjust in a sense. And if people don't know like the way politics work, and they just be in their feelings, and it's fair to blame him, but it's not fair to put the blame all on him. And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you need to understand how politics work to know that, like you mentioned, there were other people in his path to stop him from putting the policies that would save lives. And the fight right now we have is that we're so tribal that people are it's red versus blue, and we're not necessarily for America. And Barack Obama said a while ago that he felt like he came into the White House a little, like 10 years too soon. And when you think about it, I kind of understand it now wholeheartedly, especially after going 4 years of this orange sociopath. But I get the criticism. I just want people to like educate themselves and to know why he hasn't done enough. If you're gonna blame someone, do the research to know why, and stop pointing the finger, and then understand that it's because we're not voting enough. It's because, and not just Black people, white people too, white Americans, and Asians, every culture and sectors that live in these counties and localities in this country that continue to vote against their interests. And then you vote against your interests, you allow someone like a Mitch McConnell, like a Marco Rubio, like a Ted Cruz, like a Chuck Grassley, the list goes on, and Lindsey Graham, all these people who do things to denigrate the progression of society. And that's the fight. Like, we want to progress. Majority of this country want to progress. You know, and Black people, most people, you know, people of color, we want progress. We want 40 acres in a mule. We want healthcare. We want, you know, the right to prosper in this country without feeling like, you know, we didn't work for it. Like, you know, we did work for it. Like, and that's the connotation that I think is the battle right now, is people, especially with the progressives, you know, wanting to give healthcare and stuff like that. Is the have and have nots.
Absolutely.
And I'm not sure if Joe Biden can solve all of that, because that's a lot of cultural dissonance to like break apart. But I do believe that he is a precipice for what can be, which is why he put Kamala in the VP. I mean, believe it or not, 4 years from now will be really fast, and we will have our first female vice president. I mean, first female president, Madam President, in the history of this country. So he did the right thing. But the criticism is fair. It's just, you know, because a lot of people say that, and I had this conversation with my dad, my brother, everyone who's, you know, voted for, and we look back at 8 years or 4 years or whatever, and just like, man, we ain't get nothing. But technically we did. 20 million plus people have healthcare. You got people who were flooded because of the hurricanes and all the stuff that happened with Obama, who got the funds to rebuild their own home. And there are people who've gone through with Sandy over here in New York, Connecticut area who still haven't rebuilt yet. Barack Obama's done a lot of great things. It's just that we're not. We want the real tangibles. We want the meat and potatoes. And unfortunately, Republicans blocked it. And it looks like if we don't get the Senate in Georgia, we're going to go in the same cycle with Joe Biden. That is what the Republicans want to do. And that's why I say, like, do the research and get focused. Do the research to know who are these people that blocked Obama? Why did the last RNC chair, John Boehner, he left after Obama got passed Obamacare? He left because he knew the Republican Party was becoming this cult of anti-Americanism. And that's where we are. Like, and that's the hard part of Joe Biden's. But I will agree, like I said, to the first, you know, contest of like with Charlemagne and everyone talking about, but we just got to know better and do better. And Obama is wise enough to take the criticism. Like I said, fair criticism. Like, you know, some people go too far and want to attack the family. Like, he's not responsible for what happens in Kentucky. You know, that you have other leaders to do that. He's not responsible for what happens in New York City. He's the president. The president is just a placeholder. As we see with Trump, the president is just someone there to sign bills, do the whole decorum and play nice, America, 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 all that. Like, the real work is Congress. And if we're upset at what one president couldn't pass, then we need to change our leaders, not just the president.
Absolutely. Because I think a lot of times people think it starts at the top. And in so many cases it does, but when it comes to, okay, so I've always said this, it's like with the president, he is the face of everything that you're seeing, but there are moving parts behind the scenes that are the ones who are making things happen. They'll bring stuff to the president. He'll sign off on it. Not saying that that Obama hasn't been there and has been present and has been, because who was it? Who was that old crow that was on The View this week that was promoting a book? I don't know who's gonna read. That was what was it? Part of Homeland Security, and he.
John Bolton. I call him Yosemite Sam, child. Yeah.
He basically was spilling tea that we already knew. The president wanted himself talk. He wasn't listening to what everybody else had to say. And did you see when Sonny checked him, John Bolton? Sonny checked him on the show. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, I caught that he was trying to discredit her, and she said, "I went to law school like you did, so you're not going to sit here and ask me what do I think an interpretation of something is when we're basically." We
Two
come
of the
from the
same.
same old school. We learn the same shit. So, well, because you're a white older man, you trying to discredit me as a woman of color who went to school and learned these same policies that you learned. But a lot of y'all like to find ways of getting around it to suit your own agenda. So,
Right.
It was, I think anytime it's refreshing when you have someone who, you know what, I could sit down, I could take the criticism and let you know what really went on inside the room. I want to read his book. That's another book I definitely have to read. And see what, you know, where his head was at as the president and all other stuff. Because people don't really know until you're in the room. And it was refreshing to see someone sit there and take, even though I didn't watch it, but I've seen clips, that you go on something like The Breakfast Club, which is reached by so many younger people, and trying to understand. I kind of wish Joe Biden do? Oh yeah, he did do The Breakfast Club, and that's what he got in trouble for saying. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black or something. I forgot he got in trouble for saying that. So it's nice to see someone who could sit there and take criticism and let you know what was going on and really have a respectful debate, rather than what we saw recently from the fat orange one, who went on 60 Minutes, and anytime you ask him something that he didn't like, oh, you would never ask so-and-so this question, well, I'm gonna leave. Fuck you. It's like, it's just refreshing to get someone who's just an adult who can, you know, be rational and reasonable. So yeah, kudos to him. So what was it that you wanted? I know I don't know if hopefully we, you know, you don't get kicked out or whatever, because I know you're still having technical issues. But was there anything you wanted to add to any of the topics? Because I was trying to bring you in, but there were some issues. I don't know if you want to talk about the Grammys. You wanted to give your thoughts on, you said you have Paris and Brittany.
Right. Well, I can't pull up the video, but I wanted to show something. Let me see if I can get it here. But yeah. So
what did you think of the J-Lo nude picture that we posted earlier?
Child, J-Lo is trying to. She's reaching. She's trying to get those eyes, honey.
She was good though,
but I don't know if it's gonna work. No, I you know, I wanted to, you know, Paris Hilton said that her and Brittany created the selfie way back, and I some would agree, and so that's what I wanted to throw out there. And you mentioned, you know, prior us coming on here, that you agree as well, you know, that, you know, she back then, before we all was thinking of that, even before Kim K, Paris was the reason why.
So I totally agree with you on that. I definitely agree, because I was like, I mean, look, quiet as it's kept, I was never someone that watched The Simple Life with her and Nicole. I just thought that show was just full on buffoonery. I just didn't care about watching a bunch of rich people try to poke fun at us everyday workers, whatever the case was. I just thought the whole concept was stupid. Although I don't know, for some reason, didn't New York do a similar type show, but it was way more entertaining. Yeah. Because I think maybe I liked it with New York when she would like take on different jobs, because she's relatable. If I can't relate to you, I'm not gonna, you know, I can't relate to rich people trying to all of a sudden be random or regular, like a regular person. I just can't. So I can kind of agree with that. So like, people don't give Paris enough credit, but she kind of just, I mean, even though we have the Osbournes with the whole family thing, Paris Hilton kind of became like this big breakout reality star, and I believe she probably did create this of it. She was always doing like the holding the picture, and, you know, it's hard, like doing that whole thing with the phone. Wait, I'm sitting there holding my hand like I don't have a phone, so it was like just hold the phone and take the picture.
Well, speaking of that,
so I agree with that.
There is someone else who's trying to be regular, and I'm sure this may irk you. But let's take a listen and wait to the very end.
Real quick, talk to some, I guess Google. I don't know what the algorithm is for why certain photos come up, but this is so frustrating considering I took a lot of selfie, and I feel though like people try to legitimately sabotage me. Now watch. I'm gonna go to images. I mean, this was a time where I was really unhealthy on Lyme disease, right? All of the top photos are me looking disheveled, right? Like, I was obviously going through a tough time, but it's like, these are the photos that media tries to run with. I don't know if they do it because they try to, there's so many new photos that I've serviced to the media, and they continue to use these photos. So it's like, what's the deal? I don't know. It's frustrating me. I wish they would change it. I've asked them to change it. I've done a lot of photo shoots since then, and yeah, they could just, they don't have to.
So
he does look cute here. I will give him that. Like in the recent video, I was like, okay, Justin Bieber still, he looking a little cute in that picture. But child, is this what we're upset about? You're upset because you're using unflattering photos of you? Well, look, if he wants to get pictures, more flattering pictures of himself, maybe he needs to talk with Beyonce and her team, because Beyonce does not allow any unflattering photos of herself to be put out there on social media.
Yeah,
I believe she has her own photographers, and she submits photos, and she refuses to have other photographers show up at events that she's performing at that can take photos. She has, I believe, her own team of people that take her pictures and all this stuff and send them out to the press. So maybe what he needs to do is talk about that. Look, we all got unflattering photos of ourselves out here. Boo freaking who? Like, just use, I mean, he said he was going through Lyme disease. Don't Toni Braxton have I thought Toni Braxton would have like Lyme disease. I know she got I think she does have Lyme disease.
She has lupus.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, Lyme disease, lupus, not the same thing. So I don't know necessarily what Lyme disease does to your body. The only
they all attack the immune system. They all attack the immune system. So I guess that's kind of the similarities of it all, Yeah,
he was looking kind of blunt. But
right.
You out here worrying about that you look like a trucker prostitute on meth. You sitting there worrying about how you look with that picture. Well, you should look better now. Who cares about how you look back then? I mean,
and he's married.
Child, there's so many, exactly. And you're married to Stephen Baldwin's daughter. Like, she know what you look like when you wake up and when you go to bed. Who cares what Google got pictures of you of? Like, you, child, there's so many things that's going on right now. People are dying from coronavirus. People don't have jobs. People are still unemployed, child. Like, there's so many things that's going on right. Like, look, there's people who can't even be together with their family tomorrow for Thanksgiving. You worrying about goddamn Google pictures and you looking like, a corpse. That's what you're worrying about.
Yeah.
I was trying to. It's like, Justin, please. There's so many other things that's going on in the world, and you sitting there not only like he just been bitchy this week. You worrying about pictures of yourself on Google. You're mad over the fact that you weren't put in the R&B category at the Grammys. Like, boy, if you actually put out a good damn album, then probably would have got nominated. But Yummy is not R&B. Sorry. Somebody saying yummy, yummy, yummy 45 damn times is not an R&B song make.
Oh gosh. On that note, guys, we will be back in 2021 for a brand new,
God willing,
Wednesday night Kiki. Yeah, so we had fun this past 12 weeks. It's been a ball. And as you said, we want to bring on more faces and hopefully Restream get it together. And
I was a mess tonight, but we still pull it together.
Right. That's right. Dedication. But yeah, guys, so we just want to thank everyone for tuning in to Wednesday Night Kiki. The show has been incredible. Let me put that down. That's loud. Now I hear it on my end. But yeah, and so we will be back. And anything else you want to say, Kris?
Thank you all for sticking by us for the past 12 weeks. Technical issues and all. We're trying to bring y'all an amazing show. Hopefully, I brought you an amazing show. I'm glad that you all stuck around. Leave your comments, posts, all other stuff on all social media platforms. It's all over here. Like, you'll see it, all the good stuff. Follow me on Twitter. Follow EJ on Twitter. On my Instagrams, all that good stuff. Love you all for watching. Till 2021. Ciao, darling.
Yeah, 21, guys. See you.